and welcome to the video of the student work and bulletin boards that I created during my student teaching placements. This is a winter bulletin board that I created during my placement at Francis McClure Elementary School in the McKeesport Area School District. This was created in a kindergarten to 3rd grade autistic support and life skills room. The lesson was to be focused on wintertime, and so I decided it would be cute to do something with the phrase, "When the weather outside is frightful, what makes you feel delightful?" And so based off of this, the students worked on a writing assignment with it. So what I wanted to do was have them brainstorm different ideas of what kind of things they like to do when it's snowy and cold outside. And some of the things they came up with were actually really great. So they came up with things such as in the pictures you can see cozy blankets and snowball fights, or making igloos and soup. All of these things are really great, and they actually did a wonderful job brainstorming. As you can tell, there are different sized pieces of papers and different sized snowflakes. The bigger papers and snowflakes are for the students that are younger and struggle with writing, and the smaller snowflakes and smaller pieces of paper were for the students that are older and are better at writing. This was one of the ways that I differentiated this lesson for those students. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the 9/11 display that I created. For this display, I created a lesson that I actually taught during the day of 9/11. I first taught the students about 9/11 using a PowerPoint, and then I asked them to do some research on people from this time, and I had them write a short little paragraph about that person that they researched. The research came from predetermined websites and was completely monitored by myself and my cooperating teacher. As you can read from the picture in the top right corner, this is what was displayed in the hallway, and the students' parents came during open house and were able to see these things. Well, I will read it to you if you aren't able to read it. The 4th grade students learned about the events and heroism shown on September 11, 2001. Each student in all 4 classrooms researched heroes and their brave acts from this day in our nation's history. Then they wrote about one hero and rebuilt the Twin Towers to show how together we can become stronger and more united. We discussed how so many selfishly impacted the lives of those in need. If you would like to know more, please just ask one of our 4th graders. It was so true. They learned a lot from their research and were able to show it through their writing. So the next slide shows you some examples of their writing. I will read them to you. So the first one up top, it says, Jason Thomas was a Marine. He searched for survivors and found 2 authority police. They were buried in the rubble. They found them after another 2.5 weeks. He helped Ground Zero, which made him a 9/11 hero. And then the second one student wrote, a hero is someone that is brave. Morris Smith is the first officer to report the terrorist attack of 9/11, 2001. She ran to help evacuate. She's a hero because she saved lots of lives. So each student found a different person and really thought about what to write about. One of the main things we were working on with this was was paraphrasing. It was not actually taking what was exactly said and just rewriting it. It was using their own words instead of the author's words. This was something that was very hard for them, but they were able to do after a little bit of help. The next thing I would like to show you is my spring bulletin board. So for this bulletin board, the students were given the task of working with rhyming. So the phrase "spring showers bring pretty flowers" rhymes, and if you look at the flowers at the bottom of the picture, you will notice that they are cupcake liners with the students' pictures in the middle because they are the pretty flowers. And the project/craft that they were asked to do had to do with rhyming as well. I began that lesson by reading them a spring story that had a lot of rhyming in it, and we worked together as a class, a big group, kindergarten to 3rd grade, and we tried to find the rhyming words in the story and identify them. They did pretty well with that, and so the activity after was just to solidify that new concept that we just learned about. And so they were given a bunch of different rhyming words and pictures, as you can see in the left picture, and they were to match those rhyming words. So on one side, for example, there would be the word rat, and on the other side you would find the word mad. I allowed them to color it after. One of the other things that we worked on was cutting, because there was a lot of cutting in this activity, as well as painting within lines for the rainbow. It was a very great activity, and I do feel that they learned a lot about rhyming during this, and it created a pretty nice bulletin board. The next thing I would like to talk about is my 100th day of school project. This was done with my 4th grade class. They were given a prompt, when I am 100 years old, with a few smaller prompts within it, such as where they live now as a 100-year-old, what their career was, how their family is, their biggest accomplishment, and what they would do if they were 100 years older. And along with that, I did a activity, a little craft, and they were asked to use ripped pieces to create themselves as a 100-year-old. As you can tell, they were very creative with this, and their personalities showed through this. Not only through the creative project, but also through the creative writing, which is something we wanted them to work on, because creative writing is hard sometimes. The last thing I would like to talk about is the anchor charts that I created for my 4th grade classroom. As you can tell, these are just 2 of many that I created, but they are on pronouns. For the first lesson in the unit, I started by introducing what a pronoun is, using the anchor chart with the superhero, the pronoun superhero, because the noun is in disguise, so that's why there's a superhero on it. We went through a book and identified personal, possessive, indefinitive, and relative pronouns, and then used an interactive notebook sheet to further the instruction on that. Then in the other one, you're looking at a reflexive pronoun anchor chart, and for this one, we wanted to really make it known that reflexive pronouns are a reflection of who is saying the thing. So for example, myself, if you're looking in a mirror, I am looking at myself, or yourself, if you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself. This way it was easier for them to understand, and I feel like the visual really helped them get to that point. These are just some of the things that I would use in my own classroom to help my students understand a concept better. Also, those are some bulletin boards that I would love to use in my future classroom. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and seeing all of the fun things that I did during my student teaching placement.